So just got off the mastermind call that I do twice a week in my program, and something came up that comes up a lot, and it's really worth understanding. There we all are. There's my little setup. Couple of lights. Anyway, where are we? Let me turn this bad boy around. Yeah, something came up that comes up quite often, and it's really worth understanding. So to understand before this, something that's really important is one of the things that I see all of the time with coaches is the more offers you make, the more money you make. The more invitations you make to your audience about different opportunities to raise their hand and get your support, to work with you or anything else, the more money you make. So often I will see coaches are having a hard time, and one of the biggest things that they're doing is simply not making offers. They're just not doing it. They're posting, they're hoping. They are waking up every morning, writing a post, hoping someone comes in, but they're not actually going out there and saying, hey, this is what I do. Do you want to work with me? They're not doing that enough. And they're just hoping it comes in on its own, right? And that can get you in this state of like helplessness. So one of the first things to understand, and this kind of prefaces everything else we're about to talk about, is the more offers you make to your audience, the more money you make. And it doesn't always have to be your core offer. This is why inside the Aligned Coach, we do a couple of different offers. We do your core offer, which is the actual main thing that you do, and we make that offer to people frequently, whether it's in private or in public. We make that offer frequently and we get people in. And then we use something called the infinite offer, which gives you pretty much an infinite amount of ways to actually articulate your offer in different ways. So it's the same offer, the same thing. We just kind of like shine a light on different things, and we talk about different aspects of it, potentially change the time frame and everything else. So we get more people and we keep it looking fresh. And then we use things like micro offers, so we can take out smaller pieces from your overall offer and sell it as a one-time micro offer, so a one-time payment, and make offers to your audience and get them out of your audience and into your world that way, because that's what these offers do. Anyway, that's important to understand first. If you haven't done an offer to your audience for a while, do one. Like, you'll make money, you'll make more money, and you'll also learn, because then you learn what did they actually like, what did they not like, because one of the biggest things around actually being able to make money out of your audience is being in conversation with them and, you know, making them offers and finding out what happens. Because if you make them an offer and they say, I don't want that, here's what I need instead, you can turn that no into a yes, but then you also get clearer on, okay, maybe this offer is not actually what they need. Maybe I need to actually offer it in this way or focus on this part of the journey, and then that can help. I saw this very recently as well. So I've got a client going through a validation phase in terms of his offer. So he's created an offer and he's putting it out there. And pretty much what his offer is a peak performance coach, and he's helping guys with jobs, but also with a side hustle, be able to create the systems and the performance necessary to be able to have the performance to build their side hustle business in 2 hours a day around their full-time job, right? Now he's in conversation trying to validate this offer. Does it work or not? Has he got the people to actually sell this to or not? And what he's finding is a lot of the people that he's talking to really like the idea of making money on the side, having a side hustle. They really want to be able to use his service, but they don't know their idea. So we're realizing, okay, if you can solve for that problem first, which is a different problem along the journey, right? But it's the same journey. If we can solve for that problem first, then that can be the offer. It's going to be more valuable to people, and you're going to be able to make more sales and sign more people up. So making offers doesn't only make you more money, but it also gives you more information. So anyway, this leads me on to the main objective of me picking up the camera and actually speaking to you, which is, do not be afraid to make offers to your audience, because this is the biggest thing that I see holding coaches back from making offers, is they're afraid to do it because they're afraid of what happens if people do not sign up. You know, what happens if I make an offer and no one wants to buy? So instead of finding out if that's a reality or not, they just stay quiet and they just kind of hope people come in. So let me run you through this, because this is so normal. Maybe you've been listening to the start of this video and you have been wondering to yourself, I'd love to, but What if no one signs up? Let me tell you, this is similar to someone on a fat loss journey jumping onto the scales and weighing themselves. They might be worried to do so because they are thinking to themselves, what if I'm heavier? But the reality is, it is just the truth. Whatever the scales say is just the truth right now. And from the truth, you get data. And from the data, you can decide your next moves much better than without the data. And it's the same with making an offer to your audience. You can be fearful of doing it and you can put it off and you can not do it in the fear of what you might find out. Or you can do it and you can understand that whatever comes back your way is just the truth of your situation right now, and that gives you the data to move forwards. So breaking this down into tactical pieces, like there's a couple of outcomes that we're afraid of and one that we want, right? So one outcome is we make the offer to our audience. By the way, we generally do that in a campaign, so we do it like a week-long thing. We make the offer to our audience and nobody wants it. There's no one to actually make the offer to. That's like outcome one that we're afraid of. Outcome two that we don't want is there's many people to make the offer to, but no one wants to buy it. So we make the offer, we're managing to find people that are like, okay, that sounds good. And then we make the offer to them and no one wants to buy it. That's outcome two. And then outcome three is the outcome that we want, which is we make the offer to our audience. People ask us for the offer and we make the offer to them and they buy. Obviously, we all want outcome three, but outcome one and two give us data anyway, right? So the thing that you're afraid of is actually just the truth anyway. So if you were to make an offer to your audience and no one was interested in what you do, that's already the case anyway. You're now just staring at the truth in the mirror. If you were to make an offer to your audience and then you got people in but no one wanted to buy, that's already the truth anyway. You are now just staring at the truth in the mirror. And that allows us to make our next moves, because when you do launches like this, when you do campaigns like this, the hard work is done in between each launch. It's not really the launch itself. Let's say you've done one campaign to make an offer to your audience, and then you've got like 6 weeks in between, then you do another one. It's like harvesting a farm. Would you harvest a farm? Harvesting crops, right? In between, in those 6 weeks in between, that is when you're meant to be doing lead magnets, generating leads, doing micro offers, creating customers, just creating relationships in general. So you've got more people to sell to at the next offer. So if you do an offer and you realize that there's no one to sell to, you can look back now and you can look at, well, what were my inputs over the last 6 weeks or since my last offer? And have I been doing enough to generate new leads to actually be able to speak to? If not, that's your data. And now you can actually plan ahead and you can look at, cool, what do I now need to do for the next 4 to 6 weeks to generate more leads, to make more names on a list that I can then sell to on the next one? And you can also, of course, you can sell them in between as well. If it's option two, which was you got people interested, there were names there, but no one wanted to buy, that's really good data as well, because now you've basically just fast-tracked validating the offer or not validating it, and you can now look at the offer and think, no one wanted to buy this. Why is that? So you can look at the objections. Was it a price thing, which is often just a value thing? They're not seeing the value in it. Was it that they didn't really understand what it actually was as a whole? Are you selling something that's too big? Often that's a big one, by the way. People are selling something that's way too big, and they're trying to sell someone on like a 6-month journey or something like that, which is actually multiple ideas that they need to be bought in on at the same time, when it can really improve conversions. Just to break that down to the first 8 weeks, or that first big idea that they need to be sold on, and then it's much easier to make more sales on the front end and then walk them through the rest. So then you can start to diagnose that. Cool, they didn't buy my offer. Why is that? We can improve that and we can work from there. So the big thing I wanted you to get out of this video was, do not be afraid to make offers, because making offers is facing the truth, and facing the truth gives us the data to be able to diagnose what we need to do and then move forwards. Most coaches are amateurs. They really are, and they just kind of float through each week and each day without thinking in this way. We want to think like scientists. We want to understand where everything is. We want to be able to diagnose what's holding us back, and then we want to be able to set up a plan to move forwards. That's how we want to operate. Hope this helped. Go make an offer.